Alrighty, fellas. Good morning. Welcome back to another PokeMMO stream recap. This is stream recap 248. We're continuing after the Christmas event cycle. Now, the Christmas event is still going on for just a little bit of time. We actually have about under 2 days left of it. So the Christmas event is coming to a close here within less than 48 hours, as well as keep in mind though, as soon as this event is over, there's a Lunar New Year event on the 29th, most likely. We don't know for sure. We never know for sure. The devs never promise us anything, but the Lunar New Year event, the Chinese New Year this year, is on the 29th, January 29th. So keep that in mind. We have a lot of things to talk about. So number one, today's main goal on stream is to do the Suicune raid. That is number one priority, getting the Suicune raid done before the event is over. We'll go over certain strategies that I use. We'll go over, I think I have to make a dry skin Jinx still, but I do have a Pokemon that I actually bought off the GTL for super cheap. I bought this for like 15k, hoping this will work. Really good stats. Timid nature, not super ideal. You probably want plus special attack for a PVM Pokemon, but hoping it will do. I want to take care of Suicune today. Next up, Shiny Wars is on the horizon, fellas. Team Mr. Shiny Wars, that is not official. So I'll be going over the details of that. But War is coming, and War drastically changes my content because usually I'm shiny hunting 16 hours a day during War. So once War starts, which will be on January 11th, it lasts 1 week, not 2 months, thankfully, like the official Shiny Wars. Holy crap. It'll last 1 week, I believe, from January 11th to like the 18th, and I'll be streaming most likely 10 plus hours a day, but pretty much as I can. And then shiny hunting essentially 14 to 16 hours a day, as much as I possibly can. Mostly single encounters, doing a lot of eggs. As you can see here, I've been prepping for Shiny Wars, boys. I've been clearing out the boxes. I actually sold off a bunch of Pokemon. I sold off boxes 5 and 6 completely, so I finally started working on my sell boxes. I've been so lazy with that. I had up to 7 sell boxes. I kept 7 for some random stuff over here, but I sold off most of 7, pretty much all of 7, 5 and 6, and I still have 1 through 4. I've made some alpha breeds prepped over here. So prepping for Shiny Wars is a pretty big to do. I have a bunch of rares. I need more rares, actually, more Lulamolas specifically. Prepping for Shiny Wars is interesting because you can prep as many eggs as your boxes can hold ahead of time. So we're gonna be doing a lot of egg hunting at some point coming up. But I worked a lot on my boxes over the weekend. I was really trying to organize. I know gamer cleaning is quite a oxymoron. So we did do a lot of work there, and I have to buy a bunch of Dittos to work on that. I sold a bunch of Pokemon, as we can actually go check over my sell boxes, which will also give me a bit of extra Pokeyen. I also spent a ton of Pokeyen. You can see my cash stack is now under the 100 mil mark. I donated, I think, 10 mil to Shiny Wars for the prize pool, and then I also just spent a lot on investments. I spent a lot on investing into this event, and I made an investment video that'll be coming out very, very soon, hopefully before the event is over. But there is around 700k claimed from Pokemon, 400k claimed from more Pokemon, 225k claimed for more Pokemon, 156k, 100k there, 61k there, 44k boom, 30k boom, boom, boom. Just plenty of Pokeyen. That was almost like 2 mil gained just from, I want to say scraps, but like scraps to some extent of Pokemon in my PC that were just sitting there for ages, you know? So really happy to build up the cash like a little bit, as well as clear out space for all of the boxes that I'll have to breed during Shiny Wars. That's pretty much everything. I'm going to go over the details of Shiny Wars in a separate video as well as on stream. And then we're going to go ahead and work towards prepping our Suicune team as soon as possible today, fellas. Also, chat, I gotta do it, and it's because I actually do recommend it. A massive reason I can even do giant streams like 10 hours a day coming up with the Shiny Wars and do events like this is thanks to the generosity of Factor. And every time you guys sub, they are even more generous to me, and I really love their food. I recommend it. Factor and HelloFresh are owned by the same companies, and they're great for different lifestyles. I always say HelloFresh, I'm not spawning right now, but HelloFresh is better if you like want to come home and cook and be creative and have some energy left over. Factor is if you're self-employed, super tired, don't want to worry about, you know, having to make a big dinner, you don't like cooking cooking, but you want to eat healthily, you want to eat chef-made meals, you want to eat high-protein meals if you need that, vegetarian meals, they have really good options. And if you're in the US, this is a US only thing, I believe, but factor link in the description, 50% off your first box. One of the only ways I'm able to do giant like streams like this and focus on my content as a small content creator. So thank you so much to Factor. Check them out. They're really supportive. And I like to give back. When you guys Factor sub, it means the world to me. So I try to give back as much as possible. So every single Factor sub equals adding 1 hour to a streamathon at the end of the month. That's an important Factor incentive. And then also, I will breed 5 alpha Pokemon plus open 5 mysterious balls of my choice during the streamathon. However, I'm going to add to this plus during Shiny Wars. So, not balls. Okay. Mysterious balls don't count towards the Team Mr. Shiny Wars, but alphas do. So I will breed 5 alphas per Factor sub during Shiny Wars as well as 5 alpha Pokemon at the end of the during the streamathon as well. And then on top of that, you know, every 10 subs equals I will buy something for stream up to $100. And that can be like, you know, 3 different things that are $30. We'll spend up to $100. Fog machine, lights, pyrotechnics, costumes, whatever goofy stuff you guys want to see. We'll vote for it live on stream and on Twitch. And then at 30 subs, someone asked me what my price was. I would bathe in beans for 30 subs. Yes, I would. I know it's not. I'm not proud of that one. But it was a large inquiry that people kept talking about. So thanks to Factor, this is all possible, and thanks to you guys for actually subbing to the Factors. You guys allow it to be possible as well. So thank you so much. Alrighty, fellas, we have a big PokeMMO event upon us. The 10th Team Mr. Shiny Wars. If you aren't familiar, Shiny Wars was actually created, from my understanding, was literally invented by Team Mr. and then adapted officially by PokeMMO and other PokeMMO teams, which is an amazing thing. And it's cool to see that adaptation and see it, you know, flourish. It's a really beautiful thing. 8th War 10-year anniversary. I'm being correct. I'm a fake Team Mr. Member. 8th War 10-year anniversary. Okay, apologies. 10-year team anniversary, 8th Shiny War. So we didn't do it for the first 2 years. That makes sense. Okay. 8th edition of the legendary biannual Team Mr. Shiny Wars. They do it every, I guess they do it, they do 2 Shiny Wars a year. We do one in, I believe one in the summer and then one in January usually. So, all right, let's go over it. Shiny Wars for Team Mr. This monstrously changes how my content usually exists. For example, I will be taking off, it goes live on the 11th. I will be streaming the draft and streaming the team captains picking their players, which is always a very exciting time. I really recommend you be there at January 11th, 12 p.m. So it's Saturday, January 11th, 12 p.m. ET. ET is the time zone. I'll be taking off after the event ends on like the 8th/7th or whatever. I'll be taking off the 9th and the 10th. No streams the 9th and 10th. So I let myself prep and get ready. And I always tell people I don't let myself play PokeMMO like 2 to 3 days leading up into a big event, because I want to I really want to store up the urge to play, sort of things. Let myself get a break, somewhere like give myself a break, right? But when I'll be streaming this event from the 11th to the 18th, I will be shiny hunting pretty much 16 hours a day, streaming about 10 hours a day, on donor status, on a lot of charms. This is like shiny hunting heaven. This is what it's all about. It's like exciting moments on stream, lots of long food debates and dumb discussions while we pass the time, all shiny hunting together. Okay, let's go ahead and actually get into and break down the actual rules. With Team Mr's 10-year anniversary rapidly approaching, we are hosting the 8th edition of our legendary biannual Shiny War event for all of our in-game Team Shiny members to join. Really important to note, I apologize in advance, this event is not open to the public. It is not open to all PokeMMO players. It is only open to Team Misters. However, historically, it's been a big spectator event for PokeMMO players, especially since this was like the only Shiny War in-game for a long time, right? So I think it's always cool and fun for people to I'm getting distracted by chat, sorry. For people to it's always fun and exciting for people to root for a team, pick a team, root against me, root for me. It's a fun spectator team sport. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. This is a 1 week long 2-team group shiny hunting race. Every player wishing to participate can sign up, and their IGN will be noted down and then drafted to one of 2 groups/teams on the day that the event starts. Each shiny found during the week will gain points for that player's team, and at the end of the week, the team with the most points wins. The winning team will receive the majority of the donation pool, split evenly amongst their players, except for the MVP prize. Points per shiny will vary, and more points will be awarded to different shinies, depending on the encounter method. So, a big difference between Mr. War and official Shiny War in PokeMMO is that Team Mr. designates points based on the method of finding the shiny, not the actual species, right? So, in PokeMMO official Shiny Wars, you're awarded points on the species, but this is method. I think both are really big positives and negatives. I think it's really, really interesting, but I don't know if I have a preference to one, but they're both very good for their own reasons. Single encounter, Safari Catch, 3 times Horde, 5 times Horde, Egg Hatch, etc. We will be hosting a team draft for both of the teams right before the event starts to decide which who goes on which team. Team Mr. usually encourages you to do rare hunts, egg hunts, safari hunts, single encounters, all of that stuff. The rarer the shunt, usually the better. Shiny alphas, right? Usually it's more points and it's more efficient per hour, whereas official PokeMMO Shiny Wars, Cubchoo and Cryogonal and certain times 5 hordes were the meta. The captains are going to be Keyest, aka Mist, our very own Twitch mod, and Gingermat, also a Giga Chad of the community, and the teams will be Team Aquays versus Team Flare Blitz. This might be a little confusing. The reason why it's Team Aquays versus Team Flare Blitz because this is the new owner of the team versus the old owner. It's just the names of the teams. It's just sort of a theme thing, which is really cute. This event will occur during the team's 10-year anniversary, and we will have bonus days during the week to spice up the event. You may mail me in-game, IG and Aquays, or via Discord to sign up or participate. This event is for in-game team misters only once again. Sign up starts now. May the best team win. Here's the point system. A legendary shiny is 45 points. A wild-caught alpha is 35 points. A egg-hatched shalfa is 20 points, or 30 points during the final 24 hours, encouraging people to go for that shalfa to end the war. 15 points for an egged shiny, 12 points for a fossil shiny, 7 points for a safari shiny. If it is caught, if it flees, it is 0 points. This is always a big swinging factor of the event. 6 points for a single encountered shiny, 5 points for a double battle encountered shiny, and then 2 points for a ×3 horde shiny, and 1 point for a ×5 horde shiny. Plus 1 point if the Pokemon's also secret shiny, and plus 2 points if it is on the Team Mr. Shiny Dex list. I actually have that list. Team Mr. is the closest team in PokeMMO by far to a complete shiny Pokedex. And I can actually go grab the Pokemon that we need. We don't need them. The only Pokemon we need left to complete the entire shiny Pokedex as a team in PokeMMO is Quillfish, Castform, Alola, and Blue Basculin. It's 4 Pokemon. It is 4 Pokemon. We're the closest by far. And I would love to try to be the first team to add. That'd be an insane. It's hundreds of years on average for one player to do it. Any shiny obtained via mysterious balls will not count. This is an interesting one. I gotta respect this rule because mysterious balls are pay to win. I don't like them. They can be, right? I don't like them, so I like that. I like that change. And then bonus points, you essentially have special days where you get like extra points for certain things. You're encouraged to do certain hunts. So January 13th is Safari/doubles bonus day. You'll just get extra points. You get 5 points if it flees in the Safari Zone, which is nice, instead of 0. January 15th, you have rotational region bonus day. Starting in Kanto, one region at a time will get a 2+2 bonus. That's really interesting. So you'll get benefits for hunting in each region. That's cool. Team Mr's 10-year anniversary bonus day. Singles, doubles, ×3 hordes and ×5 hordes all get double points. Double points is crazy. This is actually a big deal. So not going for rares. Interesting. January 18th, final day of the war. Alpha eggs, fossils, and Zorua bonus day is cool. That's a unique way to like benefit and encourage players to actually go for Zorua, since it kind of gets shafted, since it's kind of a ×3 horde hunt, right? That's cool. That's very, very cool. MVP awards at the end of the event. The players, one from each team, who got the most shinies or most points will be awarded a portion of the donation pool. My dream is to one day be MVP for a war. I've gotten a few points here and there. I've never been close to MVP, boys. One day I will, okay? How to sign up? Just sign up for a Discord or whatever. How to donate, which is voluntarily. You could just send AUK in-game. This is event donation or Shiny War donation. The event time, it starts on January 11th, 2025 at 12 p.m. ET. I'm going to hide the draft location. Event rules. Yada, yada. But we all know this. We all know this. Let's go to the The total donation pool so far is 48.5 million, for around 50 million Pokeyen, and this has only been listed for, you know, a few days. It has not been up for very long, and we're already at a 50 million Pokeyen donation pool. Now, do we do this event for the money? No. Holy shit. The hours put in for an event like this for the Pokeyen you get is horrible. However, do we do it for bragging rights? Do we do it for fun? Do we do it to try to push ourselves to see who can be the best, to see how many shinies we can get, to see what the PokeMMO community and what the Team Mystery community is capable of? All of that, yes. We all do it for those reasons. So I'm very excited. Shiny War is a very, very special time in PokeMMO for any team, for any official war. It's a big deal, and it's a pretty special event for shiny hunters. It's the cream of the crop. It's people's time to shine and make a name for themselves, in my opinion, which I think is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay, dude, the Suicune raid strat is really, really interesting. It's gonna be really boring to watch on stream because it seems like the entire fight is you basically set up Blissey, 3 Blissies, into a very, very specific position where you're able to ingrain them with the help of Ferrothorn. You set up like screen, you do all this shenanigans stuff. You put like dry skin on them with skill swap Jinx. You do all this shenanigans. And then you only need 3 Pokemon to do this. You actually only need 3 Pokemon to beat Suicune, which is crazy. And then you just use like other random OT Pokemon to fill out that OT slot sort of thing, right? But this is pretty nuts. So you do this, and then you just basically sit up Blissey to be unkillable, and then you just sit there and spam Seismic Toss / Psywave for the entire fight over and over and over and over again. This is very interesting. This is a very, very weird strat. I'm excited to... I have to do a lot of, like, prep, actually. I have to do more prep than I realized, to be fair, to actually get this strat online. So I do have to go, like, EV train. I have to de-EV my Chansey, number 1. That I got this from a Mysterious Ball, which is nice. So I have to go de-EV it in defense, EV train it in special defense, and then go get its happiness up to evolve it into a Blissey. I did buy a Covert Mantle to go ahead and put that on it. Like, there's a lot of things I have to do. So that's just for the Chansey. And then I have to go speed. I will have to go speed EV train Jinx, as well as probably just speed. I don't think I have to worry about the special attack or whatever, so we'll see with stuff like that. But I'll have to moveset everything. There's a lot of work I have to put into about 3 Pokemon or so, but it's only 3 Pokemon or so, but it's very specific Pokemon, so we'll see how it goes. All right, for those who are doing a similar thing and need a quick reminder, Qualot berries are what you need. I had to Google my own EV reducing berry guide. But if after doing that, I could find out that you need 226 or whatever. Qualot is the defense one, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that on Chance. You ever seen it before? This is what it looks like. It just deletes all the EVs, and now I can go properly re-EV train this thing. It also gave it happiness, so now I actually should be able to, another quick little random tip if you aren't familiar, I believe I should be able to give this a rare candy. Yes, you can evolve a Pokemon, fun fact, at level 100 with a rare candy. A lot of people don't know that. At level 100, you can use a rare candy, and you can evolve a Pokemon. So there we go. Boom. Chansey evolved into a Blissey, which is what I need for this specific fight. Now I need to go EV train it in special defense, and then go EV train the Jinx in speed afterwards. Okay, this is actually so lucky. I also need for this strategy a Leech Seed Ferrothorn, which if you don't know, Leech Seed Ferrothorn is an egg move. It is an egg move to get Leech Seed on this Pokemon. And I bred, it says egg move for raids. I bred this Ferroseed, oh my god, back in 6 months ago, right? I bred this Ferroseed 6 months ago, because even back then, Leech Seed Ferrothorn was a good thing. Oh, that's so good. So now that because I bred a raid Pokemon 6 months ago, I get the dividends of now being able to go use it. This is why we bred so many Pokemon like this. I need to use Qualots again, de-EV it in defense and put into special defense, but you know what? That's okay. That's a small cost. Alrighty, fellas, it's been a while, but I'm going to be doing some EV training today, which is kind of cool. It's honestly one of my most favorite satisfying activities to do in PokeMMO. I'm going to be going to the left of Oplucid City over to the patch of dark grass over here, and then I can do ×5 hordes for Gothorita, which would be a pretty unique, cool shadow that not many people go for. It's not like it's not rare or anything like that. It's a ×5 horde, but it's not super hunted. And the Pokemon, I have a few Pokemon that I will be EV training. So first things first, I have the Leech Seed Ferrothorn that I talked about that I really need for the Suicune raid. Needs some special defense EVs. I've got the Blissey over here that needs split defense, once again for the Suicune raid. I had a Togepi sitting in my UT's box. Whenever you're EV training, you want to EV train as many Pokemon as possible, because whether you do one, whether you know, when you do a horde for EV training, if you have 5 Pokemon, they all gain 10 EVs. If you have 1 Pokemon, it also gains 10 EVs. So why would you not just do 5, right? So you want to do as many as possible. And I'm able to do this via a Pikachu, if you haven't seen it, with Discharge and Sweet Scent, which is very powerful. So I can actually do all of these hordes, as well as XP Re-Amplifier instead of XP Share. All this stuff is like slightly, you can just do a lot of different stuff, but this is like all slightly more optimal. If you're not using the Pikachu plus XP Re-Amplifier strat, you might only be able to EV train 4 Pokemon at a time, which is still plenty. We have our Ferrothorn for Suicune raid, our Blissey for Suicune raid, and we have our Togepi, which is just calm. We have Pokemon like this. I like having a bunch of what I call UTs, which are untrained Pokemon that are PVM, PvP, whatever ready, that just need to be trained up. Like this was literally bred in 2023, and it's been sitting in my boxes waiting to be trained up. Having Pokemon like this to just throw in your party when you need to EV train is really good in my opinion. We have this Larvitar, which I bred in 6 months ago. In 2024, Alpha Larvitar 5x31, a pretty penny of a Pokemon, Sassy Nature. We're going to Spadef train this, and then we have a Shuckle level 1. I've been keeping it level 1 on purpose. We're going to finish EV training this and Spadef as well. And I've had plans for this forever. This was literally made in 2022 to show you how many like plans or series I've had in the background for so long that I try to finish whenever possible. But that's all the Pokemon. Let's go ahead and get into it. So just time swipe hordes right here. Sweet Scent, you discharge them down, really easy. You should get a really easy peasy 10 Spadef EVs per horde of Pokemon. I'll just do one really quick to show you the example. I think EV training is a lot of fun. You can always make really good Pokeyen from EV training. You can make your own Pokemon. It's satisfying. You can shiny hunt while also making some actual overarching progress on specific things. You're up to 16. Beautiful. There it is. I'll see you guys when I'm done EV training here. I didn't actually show this yet on stream, but I did already stock up. I still need Dittos and to make a bunch of eggs before Shiny Wars, but the Shiny Wars prep plus the Suicune raid plus like I still haven't gotten the Heatran raid. There's a lot of stuff I have to do heading into January 11th, but I also like take the 2 to 3 day break or whatever. I did stock up on not that 11 shiny charms. I'd honestly love to get more, and I do have some RP vouchers, so I might use some of these to get some more shiny charms, but I have right now 11 charms going into Shiny Wars, as well as I did stock up on 2 30-day, which obviously you only need one of these for War, but I do have a 30-day dinner set, so I have dinner status stocked up, and then a few charms. Speaking of, I don't know if I'll be popping that many charms during War. We'll have to see. I probably will be popping. Usually, I feel like I pop around 20 on average, 20 to 25 during Shiny Wars. Do I need all regions done to the Lunar New Year raids, or will having one region complete be good enough to do all of them? Usually, like, I recommend just having Kanto done to do the bare minimum for holiday events. But I will say, the more regions you have complete in PokeMMO, the more benefits you'll get from holiday events, things like Lunar New Year event, like Christmas or whatever, right? So the more regions done, the better. And I encourage people to try to get all 5 done before events, if possible. But if you can only get 1 done, I recommend like Kanto, because Kanto has been in the game for the longest, and the most people have completed Kanto, so it gets the most amount of like call outs and stuff like that, and the most amount of resources dedicated to it during holiday events. Can we guess Rayquaza legendary for Lunar New Year event? I don't think we'll get Rayquaza, because it is the so the only way they would add Rayquaza would be via a summoning orb, which the community seems to notoriously really dislike. It seems like the Pokemon community would rather them add legendaries that you can permanently keep, even if they're weaker, like not Dark or not Ubers, right? They'd rather have that than summoning orb, things like Darkrai, which is a fair opinion. They were a little harsh about it during the event, but it's a fair opinion, right? I don't think Rayquaza won't happen, because Rayquaza is the King of the Hill legendary in Hoenn, I believe, right? So they'd have to take it out of that piece of content to make it a summoning orb, which the community, like, they're never going to make Rayquaza permanent. That would be so broken, right? You know how right now, like, during all these raids, you have to like strategize and make all these unique teams. I'm over here like making a, Ingrain, Leech Seed, Ferrothorn. Like, oh, if Rayquaza existed, you just run Rayquaza because everything. Boom. It's, legendary Pokemon, Ubers specifically, are not balanced around high-end PVM content in an MMO with an economy, right? They're balanced around a single-player experience where you just beat the Elite Four and most people quit, right? PokeMMO is much more than that, so it's really important, right? So I don't think we'll ever get Rayquaza. Definitely not. What legendary will we get? Because it seems like they have been historically adding a new legend every single event, which is pretty crazy. So we probably will get a legendary Pokemon during Lunar New Year event. The question is which one, and I'd have to see more hypotheses before I decide on a guesstimation on my end. Wait, I'm done EV training. How long have I been done? Wait, I've probably been done EV training for a while, and I totally forgot. Anyways, all right, let's go top all these Pokemon off with some HP EVs over at one of my favorite EV training spots over at Stun. Actually, no, I can't do Stunfisk because it's winter. Wait. I think the lake is iced over in game, so I actually can't. Wait, that's so funny. Whenever there's not ice here in game, I love shiny Stunfisk. Yeah, you literally can't. No, you can. Okay, huge. We're gaming. Watch this. This is actually where I got my first ever shiny in all of PokeMMO. It was right here on this spot on a fateful day when I finally got a shiny Stunfisk at like 300k encounters dry. Regi's as a raid would be dumb though. If they don't, so they don't want it. They seemingly don't. I did a video on this recently. They don't want to do roaming legends anymore. The devs talked about it. They don't find it as interesting content, right? Which is fair. What if they did? There's 4 Regis, right? There's Regi Steel, Regi Rock, Regi Ice, and Regi Gigas. What if they did? It's usually 4 people per raid. I could see them doing one big raid. I don't know if that's dumb though to like waste all that content on like one raid, but I could see them doing one raid where it's like 4v4, where it's like 4 players versus the 4 Regis. I think it's kind of interesting. Or just do 4 different raids to be fair, but I think it's an interesting idea. I think it kind of lines up kind of cool. Yeah, speaking of, someone said permanent legendary raids would be cool, which makes it look like Heatran. Like Heatran's a permanent legendary raid that now exists. That you know, it's really cool. But that kind of got me thinking. I think it's very, very cool. I think people, I'll say me being people, we don't appreciate enough how like players can start playing PokeMMO within the year. People like Spidget and make a long-term lasting impact on the game because they advocated for something in a healthy and productive way, right? Spidget is someone who started playing PokeMMO, from my understanding, in like February or like March 2024, I believe. And he just fell in love with the game, fell in love with PvP, started making content, and advocated for Heatran because it would fix the metagame in a lot of ways and help the metagame in a lot of ways, in healthier ways, right? Make more progress in stall games and stuff like that, right? And I think it's really, really cool. I think it's a really good thing that players can start playing a game, be really passionate about it, learn a lot, present things in a productive way, and impact the future of the game. I think it's a really cool thing. So I don't know. I think Spidget, that example of him advocating for Heatran, the same way that I've advocated for the standardization of strains, and I've advocated for and predicted a lot of updates in PokeMMO, but I think it's really, really cool to like call stuff like that out. Yeah, the problem is when if you say this like, oh, does he have pull with the devs? No. It's just a player. Don't doubt. You don't have to go down some conspiracy route. It's just what it's called is a player productively advocating, weighing the pros and cons, making forum posts, making videos, and it's called convincing. It's called what's it called? A persuasive paper. Like we're back in middle school, right? This is all any changes happen in the world, right? It's like productive, persuasive stuff. So I think what Spidget did with Heatran is a very, very, very beautiful thing. Or I did go ahead and finish the Blissey, 2v2 Spadef, and the Ferrothorn. This is enough Spadef. This should be enough that I need from my understanding. We're gonna go ahead and rock that. Next up, I need to speed EV train my Jinx. I don't know if I'll special attack EV. I don't think I have to worry about that, but it does need speed. The speed's actually important. So we're gonna go speed EV train 5 Pokemon over at Linoon and Hoenn, and then we'll just go XP candy everything and moveset everything. We should be ready for the Suicune raid after this speed EV training. This game is rigged. How are people pulling 2 or 3 shinies a day? No way they are that lucky. So the way that I try to teach luck and RNG in PokeMMO is at a mass scale, right? So let's first bring up the binomial distribution chart, right? So let's first go over what are the odds of going 100,000 encounters dry, right? The odds of going 100k dry without doing under status, we can see on this chart, is around, there's a 96.43% chance you should have gotten a shiny. So it's about a 4%, 3.5% chance, let's say 4% chance that you go that dry, right? That seems really low. But if you start understanding that so many people play this game and the mass numbers and how many shunts are done, it makes a lot more sense. So if you see a 4% chance, you're like, oh man, I hit the 4% chance, that's so unlucky. But if you think about it as, imagine 100 players all start a shiny hunt, right? 100 new players. 4 of those players, on average, are going to go 100k dry. 4 players, that's not that, like 100 new players is not that many. I think it's kind of crazy if you think about it like that. If you assume others in your statistics, right? 4 out of 100 new shunters will go 100k dry on their first shunt, right? As well as when it comes to lucky shinies, there's this term called beginner shiny luck, or this happens in like even Magic the Gathering, beginner luck opening packs, etc., because you get a lot of people start things, but a lot of people don't finish them or get very far in them, right? There's a statistic somewhere, I can't quote the study or whatever, so take it with a grain of salt, but there's a statistic somewhere that 60% of gamers quit a game within the first hour, right? So the odds are, if someone picks up PokeMMO, if, 10,000 players pick up PokeMMO but put it down after an hour, odds are one of them's going to get a shiny. One of them's going to get really lucky and get that shiny. But if only like 5 people out of those 10,000 players get a shiny within their first few hours or whatever, you'll always hear about that. If a new player gets a shot, it's on Reddit, it's on the forums, they tell their friends, they post it in global chat, it's a cool thing, right? But those 9,995 players that just picked up the game within an hour and quit, you don't see those stats, you don't hear about those players, you'll never hear from them ever again. So there's a lot of like mental factors that factor with. I'm not mathematically educated or educated really at all. I'm not a stats guy at all, but this is just like thought process stuff you have to keep in mind when it comes to stats and numbers. Like there's a lot of things that it's easy to forget, that the stats themselves don't factor in, if that makes sense. It's easy to not see that stuff, right? All right, we are done speed EV training. So now it is time just to go moveset these Pokemon, get them XP candied all the way up to level. I think they all need to be level 100 for the Suicune raid. I think for example, the Jinx needs skill swaps. We can go ahead, if we have it, we might have a TM for that. I try to keep a few TMs on me. Well, I don't have any actually, so how much of them the GTL? This needs skill swap. They all need to be level 100, which is a fair bit. Ooh, skill swaps would have been a crazy investment. This TM is cheap sometimes. That's actually, certain TMs can be a really good investment. I think Ice Beams are really cheap right now. It's a possible option. Not financial advice, but an interesting option for an investment. Stuff like this. Very powerful TM. Do I have any Ice Beams? I have 4. Like, I'll go ahead and stock up a bit while they're cheap. So they're cheap right now because they're being brought into the game via sealed product. That's the thing to keep in mind with stuff like that. So sometimes TMs get cheaper. It's the same reason why I have like a million Giga Drain TMs, because they were really, they got to like 6k at one point. They were super cheap. They probably never recovered because I feel like they're not as desired. I still made a nice penny on them if I ever wanted to sell some of them slowly. Alrighty, fellas, it is time to spend so much Pokeyen on XP candies to level up these Pokemon. I need Jinx to level 100. What is it? Will max just... Okay, it'll just take... Okay. Jinx to level 100. Should I use rare candies? I have a lot of rare candies. Let's get up to like 90 whatever. 97. I have no idea how much that just costed me. That was not cheap is what I'll say. Then I'll use some rare candies. I have some untradeable rare candies. There's literally no harm in using, so might as well. Boom. Up to level 100. There it is. The rare candies are like 8k alone. So that was like 24k in rare candies. I'm scared to know how much the XP candies were. It's like 5k times 60 or whatever the math. That's insane. And then next up, Ferrothorn. This one's even going to be more expensive. This one's even going to be more expensive. Let me just do the math. To hurt. This is only going to hurt my brain to do the math, but whatever. 81 times. Oh man, that's brutal. Well, you do what you gotta do for the raids, boys. Okay, we have a new challenge, chat. We need to finish. I might need this move actually. We need to finish the Suicune raid with this snowball on my head and finish the raid before it melts. Okay, that's the new goal. Finish the Suicune raid before it melts. We gotta balance it better. We gotta get to it. Okay, let's get to work. All right, well, that stream ended up being so much longer than I expected. 6 hour and 15-minute stream. 3 hours of it were fighting Suicune. That was a nightmare. That was a water beast from hell. That was insane. And it literally would not have been possible without coaching from Cav, who is with me right now. What's up, Cav?
Hey, super happy to help. Appreciative of all the shout outs. Really just honored to be here.
Dude,
So
all the minute details and the adjustments I had to make and all the RNG, all this raid was insane. I know it took you an hour and a half from what I heard, and it took me 3 hours. So I think double the time for a terrible PVM player versus a PVM Chad. It makes sense.
I
But
think it was honestly longer for me. Like it was probably closer to 2.5.
yeah, yeah, fair, dude. That was a tough. That was a tough fight. Just thank you for all your guides. You're the go-to guy that I say to go to check out during events like this with raids. Cal always puts out some of the quickest raid guides as well as being like the most succinct. You always do like the 3 to 4 minute guides? It's always so shocking to me. Like you like do a nice recording and speed the fight up and like explain all the mechanics of the fight. It's very, very good. It's very nice.
You appreciate it,
dude. I'm sorry. I'm just lazy to thank you. But yeah. Sorry. What's up?
No, I was just saying. I just try to get them out. I'm not super proud of the videos this event. They could have been a little bit better, but holidays are crazy. So appreciate all the praise.
They helped me a ton. I think everybody understands that when you're trying to do 12 raids within 14 days. There's only so much you can do. Everybody's trying to learn a raid with it. Like I think the community's done a pretty good job. And the biggest thing I try to preach is just patience. And like, number one, you don't need perfect Pokemon. Number two, you don't need perfect strategy, but strategy is like better than Pokemon. And like, it's really important to like try to follow. And then number three, just be patient with your teammates, especially if you're solo queuing, because everybody's going to make mistakes. Like I made so many mistakes throughout these raids and you have to it's okay to requeue and just do the best you can. You just try to get all the raids done or as many raids as possible. It's been a lot. This has been a crazy event, and I want to say thank you to just guiding me and a lot of other players through it via the raid guides. But I'm gonna stop glazing Cav for a little bit. I'm gonna peace out. Like the stream recap as always. If you enjoyed it, dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe to Cav, link in the description. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch for streams like this, usually Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below, and if you want to go above and beyond, best way to do so this month is Factor. There's hella incentives. It's great food. It's straight to your door, delivered through all these snowstorms. It's beautiful. I love it. I'm a big fan of Factor. Best way to support the channel is Factor. You can also do YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo. But that is it for me. I'm going to take a break after this honker of a day. Peace of Reno, fellows. And if you're doing the Suicune raid, I wish you all the luck I possibly can because it is insane. Good luck to you, and I'll see you guys very soon. Hey, thank you so very much for watching until the very end of the video. That means the world to me. And if your name is listed here, you're the reason I'm able to do this in the first place by going above and beyond and supporting the channel via YouTube memberships and Twitch Primes. Thank you so much. Have a great day.